Hey guys, what's up? What's up? It's Sunday, right? It's Sunday, and I hope you guys have had an amazing Sunday today. I did, just getting in, settled to church, hadn't even had dinner yet, but after this we'll have dinner and actually having a family meeting today. But I'm so excited that I have an opportunity to talk to my wealth family today, my I am family today, because I believe right now we are in the middle of the largest wealth transfer that the world has ever seen. And you know, God has been so faithful, so gracious to us. He's positioned us for such a time as this, right? And so I know a lot of you are grateful. A lot of you are experiencing tons and tons of success. And so I want to just encourage you to invite your family, invite your friends, invite your team members on here, because I'm going to really just kind of speak from my heart and how this whole thing started and some of the pivots and the changes that I've had to make along the way, and the pivots and changes I'm still making, right? Everything is changing. We're in a season of rapid pivots, right? Everything is changing quickly. And if you don't change with it and don't edit here and tweak there, you could end up finding yourself being kind of left behind. But I just believe that you're not that person. That's why you're on here today, because you're hungry. You could be out at the lake somewhere or somewhere else, but you're on here this afternoon because you are hungry. So first, let me welcome myself. Excited. Tankard just hit Chairman 100. Woo! I'm so grateful to God, so grateful to Chris and Isis and Alex and Jason and Matt and David and just the whole family, my upline Lawrence and Tamara Young, China Bethley, and a lot of the amazing women, right? And I am, like, I know Ari just hit Chairman 50. Yes, girl, congratulations. And we got some other big things happening. Angela Cruz saying, so many just amazing people in this industry that I just have really, really fallen in love with. Garrett Roberts, so many people. And, you know, I'll say this, that everything in life is based on one right decision. One right decision brings about one right relationship that brings about tons and tons of results. So how I kind of got started on this whole journey was 4 years ago. A good friend of mine who I made a lot of money with gave me a call, told me about this space, and I was like, I'm in, because I was really attracted to the innovation and I was attracted to the technology. God had graced my life to make my first million in the tech space. I used to own the Nextel franchise. Y'all remember that with the little two-way radio thing? That's where I made my first million. And I didn't consider myself to be real techie, but I realized then that technology is where large amounts of money would flow through that. Like the velocity of money was moving much faster. And so I was really attracted to that. I'm actually a fourth-generation entrepreneur. My parents were the first African-Americans to have a business downtown Detroit. And they had a chain of record stores. And so as a result, I saw my parents do very well. They were actually the first power couple that really had influence over my life and taught me about, you know, hard work and having a good work ethic. And even to this day, my mom and dad do really, really well. So I'm really, really proud of them for that. But we had something happen to us that was kind of a trigger for me that kind of like redefined my why. So after growing up with his and her Rolls Royces and his and her Mercedes, we had housekeepers, cooks, drivers, like all of that growing up, right? And then in 19, we lost everything. And I was devastated because I was like, we went from having all of this to like everything being repossessed within like a 6-month time frame. And it was in the city of Detroit. We lived in Detroit, and it was really cold in Detroit. We literally were living in this beautiful home with no heat, no hot water. We had to boil the water and all that kind of crazy stuff. And I remember asking my mom a lot of questions. And I said, Mom, you know, didn't we have any money saved? Didn't we have anything paid off? Did we have any money invested? And I remember my mom's answer to everything was, your father said this, your father thought this, your father said this. And I remember then that my mom was not, she didn't trust her own instinct. Because my dad is an amazing producer even to this day, but my mom would have been a much better manager or investor. But my mom didn't trust her own instinct. And I was angry with her for a while because I was thinking, like, we could have been all right if you would have been doing something, or at least following some of the things that you felt in your heart. And so, my plan at that point, I'm just trying to, create the lifestyle that I had become accustomed to living. And so I started dating drug dealers. Yes, child. And, at first it was fun, it was glamorous. And then after a couple of years, they started getting indicted, started getting killed. I actually lost a best friend who was murdered 9 months pregnant because her boyfriend was a drug dealer too. And I was really at a point in my life where I was like, okay, I had to ask myself some real questions. And that question was, Jewel, why can't you take care of yourself? You went from your daddy taking care of you to men taking care of you. Why can't you take care of yourself? And so anyway, I was like, okay. And so I ended up going to University of Michigan, graduating with a degree in econ. And that's when I began to pursue mentors, wealth mentors, because I wanted to know, how was it that during certain times of recession, their lifestyle didn't seem to change? How were they able to continue to grow and move forward? And because we had gone through this devastating situation, I'm trying to figure out, like, how did y'all do it? So I was blessed to get really strong mentors in gold, in silver, in real estate, in oil wells. And so when I had an opportunity to meet Christopher Terry, I was like, you're about to be my mentor. Because I was determined in my life as a woman that I'm never going to just wait for somebody to come and deliver me. Now, in between all of this time, in between me having that revelation, having my parents lose all of that, and then, getting involved with I got married. And that I was in an abusive relationship for a couple of years. And one day he just called and said he wasn't coming back. I was living in a 2-bedroom apartment. I was driving a Ford Escort. I moved back home with my parents, and I got on assistance for a little while. And I remember sitting in that food stamp office like, you know what? This is not you. This is not you. My self-esteem was blown because I was called all kinds of names and all of that. But you know what? I had to make a decision. And so when my ex-husband left, I kind of went on that whole tangent again. I could find myself going through that pattern again of, are you going to send a child support? And I was like, stop. And that's when everything started to change for me. That's when everything started to shift for me. And that's when I said, you know what? I'm taking full responsibility for my life. See, until you start taking full responsibility for your life. See, it's not Chris's job. It's not Isis's job. It's not your upline's job. It's not your sideline's job. It's your responsibility, because this is how you have to think about things. Nobody owes you anything. This is how I've trained myself to think. Anything that I get, I celebrate God, and anything I get from people, I'm grateful. But at the end of the day, nobody owes you anything. And so that's when I started being really hard on myself. I started being hard on myself, and I needed to be hard on myself because I had a dysfunctional relationship with money, right? I saw men, because of my dad being such a big provider in my life, and then dating and all of that stuff, I was like, listen, you have got to get to a point where you take care of yourself. And so I began to submerge myself, and I began to read books and do things like, read books like this, John Maxwell, No Limits. Amazing books, right? Right now I'm reading this book. I'm actually doing a book club right now called The Big Stretch, okay? The Big Stretch. Oh, disable the chat?
I got it, Jewel. I got it, Jewel. You're good. I got it.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Jason.
I got you. When God's shining too bright, you're going to have some adversity. Keep killing it, girl. Let's go.
Absolutely. Thank you. And so I just had to start to overdose myself. I started to overdose myself. I started to overdose myself in faith. I started to overdose myself in prosperity. I started to overdose myself in things that were good and things that were big. I started to overdose myself, and I started to get around dream champions. I started to get around people that were dreaming bigger than me. And see, this is what you have to understand with I Am right now, this amazing opportunity. We literally are so blessed, guys, because we are with some of the most brilliant minds economically of the world. We have an opportunity to plug people into an opportunity that can absolutely change their entire life, not just their lives, but the generations to come. So I want to encourage you that as you're on this journey, there are going to be times when you hit roadblocks. There are going to be times when you hit obstacles. There are going to be times when things don't happen when you want them to happen and how you want them to happen. But you have to make up in your mind that I'm going to stay the course. You know, I could have made a decision a long time ago that, you know, when I saw this opportunity, I knew that it was for me. I knew that it was supposed to do it. I knew that God gave me a brain. I knew that he wanted to educate me. I knew that he had more for me. There's some of you right now that are watching, many of you, you know that there's so much more for you, right? But you're going to have to be willing to just keep going. You're going to have to be willing to keep going, even when you don't feel like it. You know, and I really want to encourage this and say this to the women really quickly, because of course, you know, you like, girl, I got my man, I got my children, I got this. You know, my husband and I have an amazing church that we love that's doing very, very well. And, you know, that takes time. We have businesses, we have things, but I knew that this was something that I needed to focus on. And I want to encourage you to set landmarks for yourself. For example, you might say, okay, when I get to Platinum 1000, I'm hiring a housekeeper, because it's worth it for you to bring somebody else in that house to help you so that you can spend your time building your business. You can spend your time on Go Live sessions with amazing IM educators, right? You might set another goal for yourself and say, like right now, the children are at home, right? You might say, I got to hurry up and get to P2000 because I want to hire one of the best tutors in academics so that they can begin to work with my children and I can, you know, continue to work my business. Of course, you can still be there, but just knowing that you don't have to try to do everything. Set benchmarks for yourself to say, okay, at this level, I'm going to get this help. At this level, I'm going to get this help. And don't forget at the end of the day to pay yourself. Pay yourself out of everything. You know, I was grateful that because I went through that with my parents. And by the way, I want to say I love my parents. They're amazing. They're amazing entrepreneurs today. They own a very successful construction company. So this is not shade on my parents. I love them to life. But you know how you take a lot of the good, but then you also look and see. And that was one of the things that my dad didn't know how to do. He knew how to pay bills. He knew how to create a lifestyle that looked amazing, but he forgot to pay himself. How do you pay yourself? You know, we have amazing educators like Nick Gomez and, you know, Picasso that are teaching us about cryptocurrency, not just learning how to trade it and when to buy and when to sell, but you also can use that as a wealth indicator to know, okay, now it's time for me to start accumulating more Bitcoin, or it's time for me to start accumulating more Ripple. I love it. Lawrence Young is always texting me, okay, sis, I just bought this coin. Okay, I just bought that. This is a whole wealth community. This is a community that you absolutely positively can win in. You got to say to yourself, we're halfway through 2020. We got 6 more months to go. So you got to stop, take some time and reset. Reset your life, reset your faith and say, you know what? I made a decision to do this. See, what happens is sometimes most people quit too soon. Because the minute a challenge comes or a minute it gets too hard, then they back up. That's not when you back up. That's when you attack that thing. You know, I love it. There's a scripture, there's a story in the Bible that talks about David and Goliath. And King Saul was afraid of Goliath. He was this huge, terrorizing monster in the land. It said King Saul was afraid. All of his army was afraid. Can you believe that? And he was trying to figure out, he said, who's going to defeat Goliath? And so David came along and David said, actually, I can defeat Goliath. And then the scripture goes on to say, are you kidding? How can you defeat Goliath? You're young. You're just getting started. He said, what you don't know is while I was protecting your sheep, I was attacking the lion. When I was protecting your sheep, when the bear came, I started to attack the bear. So in other words, I've been practicing attacking my enemy. I want to encourage you right now that some of you were going after having that 6-figure income with trading, or maybe you were going after that 6-figure income in developing your rank, and maybe it didn't happen when you wanted to. Maybe people quit when you didn't expect them to. Maybe somebody didn't call you back. Maybe somebody somebody didn't come through, but I want to encourage you today that you need to go back again. You need to try again. You need to get up and say, I will never, ever allow my business to be built on one person doing what they said they were going to do. I'll never, ever allow two people doing what they said they were going to do to impact my business. At the end of the day, this is your business. You control this business. There are billions of people on the earth. So even as you're building your business, don't allow a scarcity mentality to come in. Don't allow a small mindset to come in. Don't see, what you're losing, see what you're getting ready to gain. But the only way it's going to happen is if you get up. If you get up, if you make the decision that I'm getting up again, there's something about diligence to be said. There's something about people that don't quit, right? Because many of you people, and you might not know this right now, but literally, I believe there are hundreds of people depending on you. There are thousands of people depending on your success. They need to see you win. They need to see you persevere. And I'm going to tell you right now, there were times, in my business that I was like, Lord, and I travel. My husband has an extensive tour schedule because he's been very successful, very grateful, platinum and gold, award running, and, all his music on Billboard charts. Even now, I think right now he's in the top 10. And so, he like, honey, I need you to come with me to this concert. I need you to come in. I'm going to this concert and I'm loving it. And I'm proud of him. But I'm knowing, oh my gosh, I got to talk to my team right now. Or I'm trying to schedule a webinar right now. Or maybe somebody calls from the ministry like they did today and said, oh my gosh, I lost my son. Or, oh my goodness, this is going on. Or, oh my goodness, this is going on. And so I had so many opportunities to say, I don't know if I can do it. But I knew that I really didn't have a choice. So what am I saying to you? And we have a big family too. We don't have a small family, and our children, thankfully, are adults, but they're still very, very much involved in our lives. They're here all the time, and, we're helping them and, talking with them, and it's just always lots and lots of things going on. And then I've been blessed. I have, a talk show on Impact that comes on every Wednesday night. Then I just got signed for a new show called Chatter on Fox Soul that I'm really grateful for. And that comes on once a week on Thursday nights. Fox Soul, shameless plug, check it out. Me and Real Talk Kim and Dee Dee Freeman and Monique Timberland. But what am I saying to you? That even though I have all those things going on, I am a priority. And that's what you may have to do. You may have to look and say, yes, I have a lot going on. But the reality is, if I become wealthy, if I am wealthy, if I grow in wealth, then I'm able to help more people. I'm able to change more lives. I'm able to give when I feel led to give here or give there. See, wealth is much bigger. As many of you know, you've heard this, it's much bigger than the mansion. It's much bigger than the Bentley. It's the ability to change a whole community, change how they think. It gives the ability to inspire them to say, you can have more. Now I have a testimony for that girl that's in an abusive relationship. I have a testimony maybe for that girl that's waiting on child support. I got a testimony for that girl who says, I'm waiting for a man to take care of me. And that's not man bashing, because I got a good man. And yes, thank you, Lord. Okay, all of that. But I'm saying, listen, I need to be able to take care of myself. I need to be able to create the dream that I know that God put on the inside of me. So I want to challenge you today to pull out your pen and paper. This is so cool. I downloaded this app on called Pen and Journal on my iPad. And it allows you actually to pull up, and I think I'm going to share this with you guys because this is kind of cool. And so what it does is it allows you to kind of create categories for everything that you have, okay? So when you download it, you're able to, and you can create as many categories as you want, okay? All right, cool. So right here, you guys can see I have crypto accumulation. Destiny Center admin, marketing, so the different areas of ministry that I have. Then I have my real estate down. Then I write my affirmations in here. I have my I am leader tracking. And so it's so cool. I can just click on it right here and I can write. I can take notes. So I can just say, let's just say, for example, today I want to talk to Terry. So I would just write on here that Terry has 10 follow-ups. But this allows me, and so I plan on doing all 10 three-ways, for example. Okay? So now I can keep up with my life. I can make sure that, okay, I want to make sure that I got my affirmations going. And you know, so I wrote down, I'm strong, I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I'm alert, I'm intelligent, I'm disciplined. So for every area of my life, so I've started using this every single day to help me keep track. So I can add another one just by hitting create new journal. And if I want to say, put in here, you know, new builders, I can do that, okay? I can choose my color. I can choose if I want lines or not. Now I'm ready to go, okay? So that's what I had to do. I had to categorize because my family was important to me. My church family is important to me. My I am family is important to me. The different things that, you know, we do in business and real estate, all those things were important. And so what I had to do is I had to create categories that allow me to go back and organize. Then you also get to the point where, you know, you might say, okay, you know, I'm at a point now where I want to bring on assistance in these particular areas. So at every level, just know you don't have to go by yourself, right? Get people that have been assigned, that they are anointed. I have our director of operations right here. I love her. Come over here and say, hey, Miss Sheila. She don't want to say, hey, but I have help. Thank you, Lord. Because there's no, just stick your head over there. You don't want y'all to stare. But I'm grateful for her, right? She helps me. She helps me to stay organized. So just know you have to take time and stop and say, yesterday I had a meeting with our accounting firm, right? I had a meeting with our assistant because we had to look at and make sure things are in order. So at every level that you're running after, your life doesn't have to be in shambles. Just know at every single level, that might be getting another accountant, that might be getting another assistant, that might be getting a housekeeper, a cook, someone that can help you stay organized. Because here's the thing, and women, I really want you to hear me, because you can't do it all by yourself, right? You have to be willing to get help, because if you get help, now I can spend my time building my business. My man is happy. My family is happy. My businesses are flourishing, and I'm on my way, right? So you can do it. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. All you have to do is make a decision that for every rank that I hit, who do I need to bring on? What else do I need to add to my life? What else do I need to be reading, right? What else do I need to be doing? Because yeah, it's going to take a lot of work. I mean, honestly, I work easily. My day usually starts at about 6:30 in the morning. I have my prayer and meditation time. I write out my affirmations. I write it down. I write down what my goals are for that day. And so I kind of give myself some structure. I always stick to it, but I try. Okay, call this person back. Call the pool company. Call the IRS. Yes, honey. Call this, call your cousin, call your, you know what I mean? So I'm making that list to making sure I got all my things down. Then now, thankful for those supporters. We come together and huddle, sometime in the morning, sometimes in the middle of the day, or whatever that set time is, to say, okay, these are the things that are on the agenda. Right? I'm not wasting time going grocery store. I use Instacart, right? So you can build a business as big as you want. If you want to go to 500, you can go to 500. If you want to go to 250, you can go to 250. Shout out to Nate, who just hit 250. Yay. right? If you want to go to 100, you can do whatever you want to do. You know, I've watched China walk through this process where, you know, she's got small children trying to figure it out. Okay, let me bring on this person. Let me bring on that person. Bring in that support team. So now you can run effectively, right? Then I want to say this, have a meeting with your family. I'm speaking to all the families now because you want to make sure that nobody feels left out. Nobody feels not important. And this is really important for women. Shout out to all my girls. I love the guys too, but it'd be like a special place. The guys be like, they all right. You're like, wait a minute. You know, my babies, I got to make sure. Have a family meeting. It was so funny. Right as I was getting really close to Chairman 100, I went into complete overdrive. I kept my water with me. I was in my office. And I mean, I was going from 8 a.m. and moving sometimes to midnight. Just kept drinking that water, taking my vitamins so I could take care of myself, right? But I had a meeting and my daughter called me, Cyrene, in DC. She said, yeah, Benjamin, my other son said, you talked to mom? I ain't talking to nobody but my husband. And that's just because I sleep with him. But I was like, right? Now I'm still, but I had that meeting. I said, listen, mommy is going dark for like 5 days. If it's an emergency, holler at your girl. If it's not, don't call me. And so even now, they know this is the goal. So I started about 8 o'clock, and now I kind of, you know, try to start winding down right around 11, because I believe in taking care of yourself. So don't be burning yourself out looking crazy. You need to take care of yourself. But yeah, so that's pretty much my day. It's a very sacrificial day. And in between that, still handling ministry business, still taking care of different things that come up with the family. What am I saying? You can do it. It just takes discipline. And, you know, make sure sometimes I'll get my snacks. I'll get a bowl of like cucumbers and celery sticks and peanut butter, and I put it on my office desk, and that's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. One day I left the cucumbers in there for 2 days. My husband came in like, I know you still not eating this, sis. Let's go. Let's get a fresh batch. But for the most part, I try to have my bag in the morning of like carrots, or if I want ranch dressing with it, because I know I got to keep myself really strong. I got to keep myself really healthy, but I don't want distractions. And I'm drinking my water so I stay hydrated. So guys, I just want you all to know that it's possible. Now, how each person gets there may look a little bit different, but it's possible. And if you just make up in your mind, I'm going to take care of myself. I don't have to neglect. Now it's going to look different. You know, the time that I spend, like on a lot of Sundays are family Sundays for us, but depending on the season, and it's perfect because my husband is doing virtual concerts on Sundays. So we'll have family time up until about 5 o'clock. And then from 5 to like 11, we're working even on a Sunday, because our goals are huge. So I can't move like everybody else. You can't move like everybody else. You can't do what everybody else is doing. I would love to be out on our boat on the lake, but I can't move like that. Not in this season. I don't know if I'll make the lake this summer. Maybe not. But my goals are so big. I have goals, I have rank goals for myself, for my team, and it's gonna take a sacrifice. So I just want you guys to be encouraged to know that making like consistent sacrifices are a part of it, but your results are going to be life-changing. You absolutely can have it all. I believe that we are all multidimensional, right? And so what happens is sometimes you haven't seen people operate. Like I've talked to women who are like, yeah, the last girl I know, when she started making a lot of money, her marriage broke up, or her kid. No, doesn't have to be. You can still have a good marriage. You can still have a great marriage. You can still have happy children. You can have happy family. You can still take care of ministry business. You can do it, but you're just going to have to allow your capacity to be expanded. And then you're going to have to communicate with all those people that are in your life so that there's proper expectation and they understand what your goals are. So then now they're like, oh, I'm going to become a benefactor of that huge goal, because I don't know anybody that becomes a multi-millionaire without having huge goals and making sacrifices and having discipline. So guys, listen, I want to thank Chris and Isis and, just the whole leadership team, the corporate team, all the chairmen, all the women, all the men. We love you. I appreciate you. I'm grateful to be in this space. I'm enjoying every minute. I'm enjoying the easy parts. I'm enjoying the challenges. I'm just allowing it to make me better. Not bitter, but better. So thank you guys so much. I love you. Enjoy your Sunday. Win big. And hopefully we'll be seeing each other really soon because I'm tired of this quarantine. All right, guys. Love you. Bye.